What's up, my fellow trash talkers? Welcome back to another episode of Good Figures. I got it right this time. And we got a special episode because this took a while. Some things happened before this review of this Good Figure. Before that, I actually have a mini review before this. So we're going to have a mini episode of good content. Actually, I think the music's a bit too loud. Maybe, yeah. Alright. So this mini episode of good content happens because I don't think it's a good movie. I think if you want to turn off your brain and have visual noise, it's good content in that sort of aspect, but it's not a good movie. Like, I kind of wish I never watched it. Like, kinda. It's basically, it's a nothing movie. So, here's a little mini episode of good content with the movie Dashcam that came out recently, like literally a couple days ago on streaming. So this is still kind of new. Nobody's really seen it to the point where nobody has even talked about it to the point where we don't even know. Okay, so that's the main thing. It's just a nothing story. Like, things just happen. Like, the main character is a MAGA sort of like right-wing little nutcase of a woman who has this live streaming thing where she goes in her car and she raps random things, sometimes offensive things, in her car because people comment words and she's like, offensive stuff. And that doesn't do well for her like financially, so she moves over to London with her ex-friend, I'm gonna say, even though she thinks they're friends. It's more or less just like an ex relationship at that point. And just she steals his car after they have a fight, and the guy he delivers food, except this time when she takes order for him, I guess selfishly, She goes in and she's like, oh, where's food? She eats a pickled egg. And then the lady's like, oh, you can't be in here. But she's like, oh, wait. Can you help me? And she brings her back and there's just this old lady who looks very sick in the back of a restaurant. And that's where everything goes wrong. So Angela is bribed with a couple £100, I should say. And she just takes this old lady whose name is Angela, and spoilers, she's 16 and she gets possessed by the devil. I don't know. Like, it feels like this movie's trying to be like topical, but it's also supposed to be like trying to like emulate old movies where things would happen and be all this crazy stuff. But that's not this movie. This movie just happens. And okay, so she takes Angela, and then she poops herself. So they go to this rest stop, they use the bathroom. But then this lady comes after her and like breaks down doors and like uses these superpowers and tries to get Angela back. And at this point, you just gotta turn off your brain. Because it's just visual noise from there. Up until they crash the car. The lady who's, I think, is Angela's sister or mother, I can't remember, and the main character breaks her arm in the car, the steering wheel, and then Angela comes over. The lady takes out her broken arm, goes over to Angela, hugs her, and then Angela just rips off her head, and then the main characters run away. And at this point, I thought this was going to be like a flip and switch where the main characters are actually the bad guys, but no. They're not. Honestly, it's kind of a neutral story. Like, they're both sides are bad. There's not even sides, it's just a group of people happening to be colliding at the same time. And so they run away, and they go to an amusement park, and then the guy, the main character's friend, dies. And then Angela almost kills the main character, but then she drives a car into the ocean because they're in London. And she gets out, We think she kills Angela, but we see later as the main character gets out of the water, Angela floats up, and then the main character gets to the building, gets to a mansion, and somehow she arrives at the place that she was supposed to bring Angela to. And guess what? A big old cult comes in, is there. They kill themselves, all of them at the same time. Angela like drinks their blood or whatever, and like gets possessed by the devil or a demon of some kind, and just tentacles spew out of her mouth, and she becomes this demon or whatever. I'm not mad at this movie. I'm just confused. I watched this with my mom, and she was confused too. And like, I'm supposed to be the guy who knows stuff about movies. I'm supposed to know stuff. I was confused. This is a confusing mess of a movie that just has this happens, this happens, this happens. And the only thing that are connecting them are the paranormal stuff, the main characters, Angela, and Angela's sister or whatever. Those are the only things connecting this movie. Like, the movie's called Dash Cam, but we only see things through the dash cam like what, 4 times, 5 times at most. Most of the time it's filmed on a phone because she live streams this entire thing. And you want to know something that made sense as soon as we finished the movie? I looked it up. The guy who made this movie made the movie Host. No wonder it's an incoherent mess that only films with. And also, apparently, the budget is $100,000. You know how crazy that is? But whatever. Anyway, so the main character kills the demon-possessed Angela, and she just goes back to her somewhat normal life. Or we think so, because there's a mid-credit scene, and I didn't stick around for the end credit scene if there is one. But there's a mid-credit scene, or like the entire credits, is just the main character rapping obscene things to the people who actually made this movie. Like, Jason Blum produced this movie, and his credit is her rapping about how he had sex with his mother. That's really gross. Why did you approve that, Jason Blum? Whatever. You have the money to give thousands of dollars to people just to make movies, so you can get the profits from a few good ones. Not even that, just good, successful ones. But whatever. We're not here for that. We're actually here for another horror movie or horror series that is much better from this movie. And it's actually a figure first. We have the Bandai Demogorgon. It's like, what, 10 inches tall? I have a thing here. Good old little measuring guy. Let's see, 10 inches. 10 inches, and you got the... So yeah, just about 10 inches. And, oh, one of the accessories fell off. The Demogorgon comes with 2 accessories, and before we look at that, let me tell you the story of what happened when I got this figure, because this isn't the first figure I got. The first figure I got, his left hip, because the design of this figure is that, you can't see it, but can you see it? It's a little plastic strut. It has a ball joint that connects into the hip, and then a ball joint that connects to the actual leg itself. So it can drop down, but it's basically just like a hinge. It's a hinge, and it's very brittle and very stiff. And this is consistent with all the figures, because all the left things on the figures are very tough. And sadly, the first one just straight up broke. I was trying to go easy because I keep telling myself I have to go slow or else I'm gonna break something. And guess what? I didn't learn. But luckily this time, this guy was a bit easier, and I actually went easy. So that's something to look out for. You gotta be careful with the hips and the shoulders too. They're made of similar plastic in the shoulder joints. Why am I showing you? You don't care. So yeah, watch out for the the joints in the shoulders and the hips. You will break it if you don't take it easy. Especially if you had an issue with mine where the left hip joint was just a little too tight and you forced it a little too hard and it just snapped off. But luckily, I got a full refund. So, and also, extra lucky, this is the last one. So, if I break this one, I'm not getting another. I'm not going through that. So yeah. Hopefully I can get another refund. If it breaks. I'm trying to be super careful. But yeah, so the only accessories are two little standy boys. So throw those away. And then you got the actual figure itself. As you can see, the pedals are open. Decent paint overall. Got some shading in there, a dark wash over it. Like the joints aren't painted. It's very obvious because it's Bandai. They like showing off their joints. And obviously, this one's pretty... This one's pretty stylized. The hands, the head, and the feet are bigger than they should be, and they're probably like sharper and bulkier than they should be. But it doesn't really bother me that much. It just means it looks more vicious. So yeah, you got the big, little big boy. He's tall. I'm gonna be honest, because in the show, the Demogorgons are 10 feet tall. I actually referenced it. Obviously, you can tell season 4, the first part, came out, and that's why I'm reviewing him, because I got him. And watching that, I noticed the Demogorgons are 10 feet tall, so this guy is in scale, if not a little bigger than he should be. So, yeah, this guy is in scale with 1/12 lines, or at least he should be. Again, you can just short him up. And he can do a pretty good crouching pose with his posability. You have a very limited ball joint at the head because of the way it's sculpted. This is as far up as you can go. So there's up, there's down, barely tell, 360. 60, of course. Then at the shoulders, it's actually, they can extend. So you can just push them in and they can stay there. Then you can extend them for what I think this is supposed to be, is for crouching poses, which it can do decently. So it's just like a barbell joint, kinda. You got a ball joint in the actual shoulder, and then it goes to a hinge. Well, that's the ball joint working. The hinge, it doesn't really, it's stiff. So you got this. And then at the elbows, it's a double pin hinge. So it can do this far, and then it can swivel at both points where they connect. So yeah, and then you got your typical wrist joint. It's a hinge with pins, so it can swivel at both parts. And you go, high five. All right. Then, okay, so here's where things get complicated, because the body is so flat than it should be, to the point where it's like a pancake. So it can, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a ball joint in the top chest, but I can't move it. It's like stuck. And I don't think I can even force it. So either it's fused or it's so flat it can't move. But the waist, you can move it, the waist. There's a ball joint at the waist, so you can move that. Again, it's so flat it can't move much. So you just get, and then you can arch back and then arch forward. And then as I said, you got the drop hips, and it's a ball joint at the hip with a thigh swivel. Then we have another of the double things, and then you got Actually, it's a one hinge. And then you got ball jointed toes. So that's the posability with this guy. And besides the brittleness of this, which is weird, this is Bandai. This should be some of the most durable figures out there. Actually, the same day I got this, along with him, I got a Bandai Ultra Instinct Goku. You want to know why? Because I want my own character, Supernova, who hopefully have a TV show of his own someday. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to look at my photos of Supernova in the description. Also, while you're down there, go check out my Patreon if you want my videos to be better than they are. Why are cameras and PCs so expensive? But besides that, I got a Bandai Ultra Instincts Goku. It's like a super series or a super adventure or whatever. Anyway, it's like it was $18. So this guy's kind of small and he's durable. He can hold his own. So you can give this to your kids, but these are sharp. I'll review this another day. But like, why is this more durable than this? Anyway, same company, whatever. So yeah, there's one size comparison. So Goku is like 5'10", 5'11", I think I remember. And then you let's get Pizza Spider-Man. He's okay. He's not as good as the recent Spider-Man, which I still need. But he's okay for like a first beginner Spider-Man toy. Except he's way expensive now because people want him now, even though he's kind of bad. He's okay, but he is kind of bad. This is like your typical 6-foot action figure, alright? 6 feet, 10 feet. Look at that boy. And then, here's what I know I have the art, but I don't count him as humanoid. He has a humanoid form, but he's not organic, so I don't count him as my biggest humanoid form. Actually, my biggest humanoid form's over here. So this was my third biggest. You know, Steppenwolf. And then you got the Demogorgon. Steppenwolf looks bigger like this, but look at those legs. The Demogorgon can get much bigger than this. So this is now my biggest, actually my second biggest humanoid action figure. So yeah, and then we have my next review. We have the NECA City Hunter Predator. I'm gonna review this guy next. Hopefully I don't break him. Why is NECA so brittle? I'm lucky I haven't broke him yet. I'm lucky. Alright. I'm too strong for this. I'm the strongest. So, we got 7 foot. Yep. Yeah. Alright. So, yeah. Do I think this is a good figure? Of course. Why would he be on here if he wasn't? And no, I'm not gonna make a series that are bad content and bad figures. I like focusing on good stuff, at least for the most part. But yeah, if you love the Demogorgon as much as I do, or just have a passing interest in the creepy, or just want a monster in your collection, this is your choice. He's about $48, which is, it does seem a bit much, but inflation's a thing, so. Anyway, so if you're looking for a good old monster in your collection, or just love the Demogorgon like I do, which I almost forgot, I got a little guy right here. This is like the 3-inch range, so actually I like the paint more in this guy. I don't like the Void, but his skin tone is a lot more closer to the show. This guy's a bit darker than he should be, but so yeah, there's Demogorgons. Go lay down. Luna's here. I've probably shown Luna before. She's my baby. Luna, go lay down. Go lay down. Alright, I gotta make a video. Alright, so yeah, I recommend this guy very much. He is very enjoyable, but He's a bit more pricey than I'd like. Maybe like $30. $30 is a good price for this guy. So if you want to wait till he's cheaper, or you just want him like I did, go get him. I recommend him very much. And I'm doing good for time. As you can see, I got a new hoodie. I'm ready for Thor Love and Thunder next month. And besides that, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what I should do. I should get rid of the next time thing. So tell me what I should do. Tell me what I should do. I gotta unlearn that. So yeah, recommend me things to do. Should I go with Goku next, or should I stay with City Hunter Predator? Either way, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Peace.